Together, we've built the most successful economic, military, and security partnership the world has ever seen. A relationship that has been the envy of the world. Yes, we've had our differences in the past, but we've always found a way to get past them. As I've said before, if President Trump wants to usher in a new golden age for the United States, the better path is to partner with Canada, not to punish us.
Meanwhile,
we give them protection, military protection. We don't need them to build our cars. I'd rather see Detroit or South Carolina or any one of our Tennessee, any one of our states build the cars. They could do it very easily. We don't need them for the cars. We don't need them for lumber. We don't need them for anything. We don't need them for energy. We have more energy than they do. We don't need them for energy. So I say, why are we doing this? Why are we willing to lose between $100 billion and $200 billion a year? We don't need them. As a state,
That's all I'm going to say, man. If we subsidizing these countries, we might as well a state, bro.
It's interesting how Democrats are trying to spin this like Trump folded. They folded.
Exactly.
They trying to say Trump folded to Canada and Mexico.
Mexico, definitely. Now we didn't fold to Canada. We didn't fold to nobody.
It's interesting that they think that they can spin it in a way that Trump looks bad.
Well, he made them send border security at the border and shut down their own personal border as well.
I don't understand why. I don't understand why the Mexican president came out in the press conference to speak on why we should let illegals stay in our country and how great they are, but you won't take them back in your own country. If they so freaking great, take them back.
She taking them back now.
Oh, she ain't got no choice.
Yeah, she putting 10,000 soldiers on the border.
Put soldiers on the border.
Yeah, that's what she doing just because of the tariff thing. Now, all right, let's get into the Canada situation.
Nobody scared ain't nobody scared of their military.
Yeah. I don't know too much about what him and Trudeau has planned.
Sorry, I can't tie now.
The Tito's?
That's funny. That's from Austin.
Oh, the American cop.
Yeah, so, we spoke to some private retailers and folks who sell American booze. And what I would say is this. We're taking action as the government. We're pulling booze off of our shelves. And in the future, people in the private sector aren't going to be able to order booze through the wholesaler. But we're not being directive to them. Well, here's the great thing about cutting off American booze. The Canadian stuff is way better. Okay?
Maybe they got Crown Royal.
Duty is to grab a 1919
I love a good
or
Crown.
a Crown Royal. I think most Manitobans think that's a good deal. And when we're talking about the wholesale price, it's a perfect, better substitute, I would say, actually, a better substitute. So I think this is something that we're doing to send a message to the U.S. to say we're not going to be pushed around. We're not going to have our sovereignty infringed.
Our hope is
Tito's.
that British
Jack
Columbians
Daniels.
like to drink Jack Daniels.
We got some
Man,
wrong.
we might got to hit the
Evan
green.
Williams. Ooh, I love Evan Williams.
We might got to go back to the green gin bottle. Y'all
Evan
know
Williams is like a cheaper Jack Daniels. They got good whiskey. I used to drink a lot of that in undergrad.
It's cool,
Jim
bro.
Beam.
We gonna be all right.
We gonna go to the green bottle, the gin. Y'all know the real ones know about the green gin bottle out there.
To say we're not going to be pushed around. We're not going to have our sovereignty infringed.
Our hope is that British Columbians that like to drink Jack Daniels, they can drink their Jack Daniels. I had a particular experience early on in my drinking career that with Jack Daniels that it's not my drink of choice. But for those who do like it, I want you to be able to get it. But the reality is that there are jurisdictions in the states that are supporting this trade war against us, that are supporting these tariffs against us. It's not the California wines. Mr. Trump was clear about what he thought about California and LA. But we're trying to send a message to specific decision makers. We're interconnected. We're tied. Decisions that you make about us also affect you. And that's what we're trying to achieve here. I think at the end of the day, when you talk about the bourbon trade, this is a small piece of the overall bourbon trade. But just because the Americans are bigger than us, doesn't mean that
Bigger
that's a reason
and better.
To roll over.
Don't forget that,
like this.
bitch.
We're going to stand strong and take the actions we can.
Bro, you think they're going to stop selling their products in America? They need America. Who else going to buy that shit?
Well,
and then it's going to cost them more money to just ship it to another country. So they're going to get taxed just as much as Americans going to get taxed.
Well, we don't know what happened yet. Let's see what happens.
I'm just keeping it 100, brother. What's the key thing about it? If that big got to go on the ship to go overseas, it's going to cost as much as us getting tariff over here, probably, in my opinion.
But the alcohol that will hurt some people.
Who will hurt?
I mean,
It probably might save some alcoholics around this motherfucker.
maybe.
Minute reprieve for Canada and Mexico, just hours before the deadline for the United States to slap punitive tariffs on all Canadian exports. Canadian prosperity and hundreds of thousands of jobs safeguarded at least for the next 30 days. Posting on X, Justin Trudeau said he had a good call with President Trump. Canada is implementing our $1.3 billion border plan, reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology and personnel, enhanced coordination with our American partners and increased resources to stop the flow of fentanyl.
Wow.
Nearly 10,000 frontline personnel are and will be working on protecting the border.
Well.
Proposed tariffs will be paused for at least 30 days while we work together. Around a quarter of all trade between the United States and Canada crosses that bridge, the Ambassador's Bridge. It's £260 million worth of goods every single day. A lot of them cars, car parts, many of which crisscross the border multiple times before they end up either at an assembly plant in Detroit on that side of the river or here in Windsor, Ontario, which is Canada's car capital. These are tightly integrated supply chains, hugely complicated to unpick and hugely costly if every crossing involves a tariff. Jib, who we interrupt over his lunch at a car repair workshop, is not positive about the future.
It's not easy for people as is today to survive out here with pay and, taxes as is. Now we're adding an extra 25%.
He's an idiot. I don't think anyone from Canada is going to pay him anything to ship their cars over there. I don't think that's...
Do you think he actually thinks that you'll become his 51st state?
I think he's...
Has a you. Yo.
I think he needs to go back to school and do a lot of research on what's reality in life.
Mexico has won an 11th hour reprieve, saying it will
reality,
strengthen
buddy.
its northern border with an additional 10,000 troops in return for a 1-month pause in tariffs. The United States, in turn, promising to combat the flow of guns into Mexico and the hands of the cartels.
That's fair.
You know what he said? She said they said they're gonna put all them troops there for a 1-month pause on the tariffs because they know them tariffs finna bust they ass. Oh, but Trump folded. Trump folded to Canada and Mexico in 24 hours.
Be for real.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of more sad?
Yeah.
They know that they was letting fentanyl just come in the country, knowing there's people on the street that was dying, there's people that's walking around like zombies. They know this,
Bro,
and they kept letting this happen.
Somebody's getting paid under the table for all this to continue.
That's why I'm confused. Like, why was they just letting that happen?
They've been
bro?
saying that some politicians is fentanyl dealers.
That's probably fair, bro. To
Those
say
people
that.
were saying that. People were saying that though.
Because like they're just letting fentanyl just come in. Like
babies was dying.
people was literally dying from this.
Yeah, I don't
It's not
know.
like crack. It's not crack.
And Trump
It's
got this-
fentanyl.
Trump got this solved in month 1.
The results are in on the Prime Minister's radical liberalization of hard drugs. He teamed up with the BC NDP to decriminalize fentanyl, crack, and heroin. He lowered jail sentences for mass producers of deadly fentanyl. And 80% of the fentanyl made in Canada is done so using ingredients that are not even regulated, but come right into our country where they're cooked into that poison, now threatening our trade relationship with the U.S. Will he reverse his radical liberal drug agenda to save lives and jobs?
He's not there to do the work of delivering based on science, based on compassion, based on a public health approach on dealing with the toxic drug epidemic. He is instead continuing to try to score cheap political points on the backs of the most vulnerable. That's not serious. That's not responsible.
What is not responsible is allowing 80% of the chemicals used in fentanyl manufacturing to come in unregulated and legally. What is not responsible is decriminalizing crack, heroin, and fentanyl. And then after you see that it leads to a massive increase in deaths, then 2 weeks ago, he, the Bloc, and the NDP all voted in favor of a committee report to decriminalize fentanyl right across the country at a time when Canadians are dying and our border could be closed. Will the Prime Minister confirm that he has reversed himself and now opposes decriminalization of gun.
I feel that, bro.
Chew that boy up and spit him out.
It's because like
He
California.
said compassion. Shut your bitch, man.
That's
Shut
what's
up.
wrong with California
liberal
right
stuff ain't
now.
gonna
Like they
work,
just
man.
letting these people take drugs and allowing them to kill themselves. Like, and you know this drug is going to kill them. Like, what are they doing? Like that shit is crazy.
It seems like Democrats create the problems and Republicans solve them.
Like, everybody, some people got their vices and they do drugs. But when you have people that are selling stuff that is killing people on the street or having people walking around like zombies, you got to do something. You can't have your country just walking around with a bunch of addicts around this mug. You got to have some common sense.
Yeah, the common sense is that's stuff. Well, that's a death.
Oh, he died?
We have to have compassion.
None of died? What was in his system? Fentanyl? Oh, who's bringing the fentanyl in?
Coming up from Canada, coming down from the border.
Oh.
Let's just leave that open.
Yeah,
and ban the guns.
And it's racist for closing the border when majority of this fentanyl going in who neighborhoods.
Estuvimos hablando de.
I told him that we've been working together.
Well. Fentanyl goes in to a lot of neighborhoods, and just poor neighborhoods, not just black neighborhoods. A lot of white people do fentanyl.
I ain't say no color. I said no neighborhoods.
Poor neighborhoods. Yeah, but I see you said racist. You said, yeah, you're right.
And the hands of the cartels.
Estuvimos hablando de.
I told him that we've been working together on immigration, that there were results, always based on protection and respect for human rights. And then we talked about his interest, and ours as well, in reducing the traffic of fentanyl. But I also explained to him the seriousness of the amount of high-powered weapons that enter from the United States.
For all the noise, Canadians remain baffled as to what exactly it is that Donald Trump wants from them.
The pretext offered is the flimsiest pretext possible. Less than 1%, in fact, around 0.2% of the fentanyl that comes into the U.S. comes through the Canadian border. If border security were the issue, this could be solved in 5 minutes.
Fresh off the plane from his weekend in Mar-a-Lago, the US president lashed out at the EU, the UK getting a mention too. No alliance is sacred when it comes to America first.
They take almost nothing, and we take everything from them. Millions of cars, tremendous amounts of food and farm products. So the UK is way out of line, and we'll see the UK, but European Union is really out of line. UK is out of line, but I'm sure that one, I think that one can be worked out. But the European Union it's an atrocity.
Taking a wrecking ball to long-standing trade ties would fray partnerships and put a strain on the global economy. Testing those partnerships, too, is a dangerous game, but one Trump seems intent on playing.
I always say this, I don't see no problem with anything he's saying right now. I don't see how people have a problem with it.
Bro, they creating a problem. The Democrats is literally creating a problem to the people. They're not American first. They're creating a problem to the citizens. The citizens think it is a problem, and they're just being brainwashed.
If you get mad for Trump saying, if you're not buying American cars, or company cars, we're going to put a tariff on y'all, and we're not going to add tariffs on your car.
What we learned yesterday, basically, they try to create the problem, so they make it seem like the problem has to be solved, and Democrats can solve that problem when it's really they creating the problem.
Yeah, some evil people got that
agenda. It can be used in the evil agenda. It's insane, you know. That's why I said the guy. I don't know if it was the last video. He was all like, "This is why we need the USAID, whatever stuff it is, because this, and they're making people like, yeah, we do need that. When really we don't.
There are no tariffs. There's a pause on this because, as has been reported by CNN and every other news outlet, both Mexico and Canada have reached agreements today with Donald Trump to do what we want them to do, which is to put people and technology and resources at the border to stop the flow of people and drugs, illegal immigration, stem the tide. That is the whole point of this exercise, and that is apparently what is happening. And yes, there have been some troops there in Mexico. This is an agreement to do permanent deployment. And yes, some of this stuff in Canada was already announced, but now they were dragging their feet. Now their feet are held to the fire. They've got 30 days to really implement, and they can't pussyfoot around anymore. So the point of this exercise today, to me, had less to do with trade and more to do with saying to our neighbors, you need to be better neighbors. We are more important to your economy than you are to ours, so you need to help us with our serious problem, which is illegal immigration and people dying from fentanyl. And they both said yes today, and that is a win for Donald Trump.
Facts.
Ashley, to kind of Scott's point in terms of claiming the victory, making clear publicly across every different platform White House officials have a voice in, and the president himself, it's what we're going to see. We've seen it before. It's a playbook, but it's a playbook that's been effective in terms of how the public receives it. What are Democrats doing in this moment?
Well, I mean, I think I would challenge your point about it being effective. I mean, what we're seeing right now is Donald Trump is actually...
Quantify what the actual impact is here. For people saying, look, the market bounced back, no tariffs were put into place, Trump got what he wanted, all's well, we'll do this again in 30 days. Is that kind of the reality from an economic perspective?
I mean, I don't know what Trump wanted in this situation. Again, he didn't actually get anything. But if he were to put these tariffs in place, they would be very painful for American consumers.
Shut the
okay, Scott. I mean, this is
He
public information.
got what he wanted. He got an agreement from our neighbors to do more on the border. That's what he wanted, and he got it.
Exactly what they have already been
I understand
doing.
you're the minister of propaganda tonight, but you don't have to be. You could just say, "Hey, all's well that ends well." Here, come on.
Got him.
If you don't
hit the
know
table.
that,
She
that
be getting
these
mad.
countries are committing to do exactly what they have already been doing, either you haven't done your homework or you think the American people are idiots. Because again,
you're an idiot.
They're doing
option three.
exactly
Or
what
option
they were
three. Or
already
option
doing.
three. Donald Trump is enforcing what needs to be done at the border, which is more help from our friends. They are our allies and they are important people, but they need to help us, and they've not been helping us, and now they're going to help us even more.
They have been.
Great.
But the point is
Dude,
that it's
just
also...
Ask every family with a fentanyl death how much they've been helping.
Scott, can I just
Well,
ask
they
you?
have done nothing more.
Scott, can I ask you though? Like,
that's not.
I don't like her at all.
Well, before the why, I mean, I guess the breaking news is that Justin Trudeau from Canada just tweeted that there will be a 30-day pause on those Canadian tariffs. So Mexico got a pause earlier today. So this is sort of how this is going to go. The why is the big mystery. I mean, Donald Trump says that the U.S. is taken advantage of. The U.S. is bullied by these much smaller countries like Canada with 37 million people, and that the U.S. can't sell its products all over the world, but we take in everything. So there's just this sense of an aggrieved President Trump. I mean, there are certain.
does Canada bully us?
Canada sells us a lot of stuff, and we sell Canada a lot of stuff. It's one of our closest trading partners. I mean, if you look, Trump is basically threatening a trade war with Canada, China, and Mexico, by far the three biggest countries that send us stuff. A lot of stuff, $1.2 trillion of stuff just in the 11 months, the first 11 months of last year. All of those things, if these tariffs go into effect, would cost more money. And we know that it is mostly its importers and its consumers who bear that cost.
Where all the American jobs going to. You remember that one dude? We met a dude in Detroit, y'all, that sell crates. And he was telling us as soon as Joe Biden came to office, it was more expensive. And majority of the people left to go to Canada just to sell crates and ship stuff overseas to Canada. And you literally could see Canada right across the ocean. Well, not the ocean, the river.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. So like when I'm seeing money getting involved, I can understand
Follow the money. I really don't like Catherine Rampo trying to say we didn't get anything. We just heard a guy in December saying that the border of Canada was wide open and they decriminalized fentanyl and they were letting all the products of fentanyl come in unregulated. We literally just saw it. The facts are the facts, guys. She's a propagandist. We know that. She's literally a paid propagandist, and she's going to spread the narrative of propaganda. And we're not falling for it. I mean, the facts are the facts. Both countries know they can't survive without the U.S. We can survive without them. I full-heartededly believe that. I mean, we have states with stronger economies than their entire countries. The fact that we live in Texas and it has a stronger economy than Canada as a whole, I mean, that speaks volumes. So with that being said,
we can bully that little ass.
We can bully that little ass. Either you're gonna get in line or you're gonna get cut out. And that's just what it is.
That's just business.
Like we can have these idiots and these propagandists get riled up and smack desks and get upset and try to talk over people and say, oh, American people aren't stupid. Well, if you're not stupid, look at the facts then. They've beefed up the border so they don't get hit with these tariffs. We just saw an interviewer walk around in Canada. We can't survive on our bills and work if they put these tariffs in. Well, shit. Better go talk to your supreme leader. We know Mexico got the cartel running rampant over there. They said working at the cartel in Mexico is about as common as working at Walmart in America.
Yeah.
Well, damn. Yeah. Hey, but I did see they did just catch a cartel leader.
Yeah, I seen they caught two
all type of crazy stuff happening.
Yeah, crack down on it because they know them tariffs gonna put y'all in the hole. Something gotta happen. So we can sit here and play this game and say, oh, Trump bent the knee, but the facts say otherwise. The real data says otherwise, and that's just what it is.
The proof's in the pudding here. And we got what we wanted, guys. And
we're getting exactly what we voted for. A competent leader that's going to strong arm everybody into doing what we say.
And tell them, this is America. Don't fuck with us. And if you fuck with us, you're going to find out.
Yeah, facts. You're going to find out. Facts.
To be honest with you, I like that, bro.
I like that a lot.
He's keeping us safe.
I like that a lot.
If you don't want to be safe, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Let us know what y'all think.